It's alright, I didn't start. I let you make your coffee, I hope. Too loud. Turn it down a bit. Click-clacking on my keyboard, mate. Clip-clopping over my bridge. Bligoats gruff and that sort of stuff. Don't know where I was going with that. So you'll get me in a second. Don't you worry. God, look at these clicky-clacky fingers make click-clack! Alfred can't talk about NPCs and Star Citizen. No! It's a secret emote. That is a secret hidden emote. QTE, I'm not getting that super chat. That'll be done for racism or something. No, this isn't a premiere. Oh my god. That was beautiful Pedro Camacho. Well, that was the music of the beautiful Pedro Camacho. Bam! My face! Ugh! Isn't it beautiful? Stock images behind me. Boom! It makes me look like I'm playing the game that's more built than it is, but it's coming soon, so it's fine. How's everyone today? How you all doing? I love all your faces. Right, to start with, QT boss battle. There's no way. I'm not getting that super chat. They will take that away from me. You're not allowed to say things anymore. It's 2018. God. I hope everyone's okay. I'm going to talk about some Star Citizen today, like we always do. I'll talk about a little bit about my oddities with depression, just so that people can understand more of a deeper inside. Oh, well, that's shit. But it's like not awful. I'm not like my head. It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, we just generally chat, and I'll update you on some things. One of the reasons I was laughing, if you could hear in the background, is because I tried out a premiere the other day. So a premiere on YouTube is where you basically schedule a video to go live, and then YouTube hypes it. It says it's going to go live at this time. It creates a little page for it, and you share it with your audience, and then it sort of like alerts them half an hour before. And it has all the features of a video, but it comes on live at that particular time. And the idea is that everyone watches it, or everyone that's there watches it together. And it also has the addition of like the streaming chat. So you chat in it. Blah, 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 blah. That's how you speak. And the idea is that the creator should be there as well. So I turn up, and I'm going to be doing an occasional premiere when it's an appropriate video. Thank you very much, Grizz. I love your face. I've seen someone that's donated some money as well. I will come to you in a second. I love you. I can see you've got little shades in your tiny little picture. But I can't see who it is. But I will say I love you in a minute. So yeah, these premieres. But people didn't really understand them. And I'd never used them before. So people were like, is this a live stream? Is this... what is this? Is he live now? And I was like, well, the video's not really live. But I am. But it's a video, and I'm just here. So I was answering questions in the chat. And it's a cool little thing. I won't use it for everything. I'll use it for videos that I think are cool, or that have some discussion behind them, so I can talk to people then and there. I don't want to, there's no point in just holding videos back when they're not ready. No, when they are ready. You know what I mean. Yes, I have a beautiful egghead. It's one day it will be in game as either an egg or hopefully someone that's not an alien's head. So, what else? I'll sip my tea. If you'd like to ask a question, please put question in brackets. I will answer questions about myself, my channel, about Star Citizen. I only really know, for the most part, public knowledge, stuff that is available from all of the Star Citizen media and other people's videos. However, I probably, more than anyone else, including CIG staff, absorb all the available data. I say probably because there might be some people out there who are very, very interested, who will watch everything. But I try to watch the good stuff, the bad stuff, the in-between stuff, just any content on it. I can't possibly watch every video because there's a lot of random stuff. But I look through my sources, and I go through all the articles I can. I go through any trending videos, and I go through anything that anyone has sent me saying, look at this, or have you seen about this? When I was, I'll talk very briefly about my depression. So I'm doing all right financially. I'm not doing awfully. I get to do YouTube as a full-time job, which is fucking amazing. I get to play games and chill out at home, and it's very good for my sanity. However, certain things trigger me into like a depression spiral. And that thing was, I lost 500 quid on an investment I made. And it's like a drop in the ocean, really. I mean, it's a lot of money. But it's not that much. Like, it's like, week's work, whatever. And I'll make it back on other stuff. But my brain will not stop thinking about it. It would just stop this thing. I wish I could go back in time and change it. And then I feel guilty that I'm not thinking I wish I could go back and change and save my cat from dying. And then I think, but what if there's nothingness? What if when we die, it's it? That's it? What if that? Then maybe I should be more selfish. What's the point of being ultra? What if I'm just a robot? And then my brain just kills itself and explodes and implodes. That's the sort of stuff that I deal with when I wake up in the morning. And then I come to sort of like a realization halfway through the day. Doesn't really matter. Let's make a video. So I've been dealing with that like randomly on and off for the last few months. It's really annoying. But right, that's a little deeper insight into my brain. I'm actually really good though, like genuinely. It's just occasionally my brain just decides to hate itself and just go weird. But yes. Isaac Rodman, thank you so much for the big wad of super chat money. I love your face. That is very much appreciated. You are a legend. Now, anything with question in it, I will try to read. Any way to send Trump to space and leave him there? I don't know. Not with the Star Citizen crowdfunding campaign. Maybe another one? Maybe maybe something else is for you. I will try and always leave any form of politics out of my channel where possible. Just because it's different for everywhere where you are in the world. Everyone has polarizing views. And, you know, different for everyone, isn't it? Bit shit for some people see things differently. And I'm, you know, I'm willing to listen and take in a conversation, but not on my gaming channel where I'm talking about Star Citizen. I really don't get how after CIG has been proven that they're really progressing in the project, so many people still get in such streams and complain about stuff they not even have a single clue of. Caymans, people have different levels of knowledge about things and they see things differently. So I can see some genuine criticism out there, and I think that's fine. I can see some people that just want to watch the world burn, and I can see some people that are ignorant, and I can see some people that are just, you know, full of hate. And they don't affect you, though. Like, if you're getting annoyed at them, that's your cross to bear. You have a choice to, you know, so what? So what if they got a different opinion? So what if they're hating? Does it matter? If a load of people are hating and people that you think are quite reasonable are hating, then you've got to actually look at it in a different way. Like, is there something that they're saying that I'm not? When it comes to things like that. So, I mean, I'm pretty chill with other people's opinions. It doesn't need to sway you. If something's genuinely true or reasonable, it will out in the end. When it comes to Star Citizen's development, I mean, just give it some time, and then you can prove people wrong. However, typically the people that are really, really angry about it and want to like, oh yeah, you scam, giving you your money away, you guys are stupid. They're going to say that even when the game's released. And they're going to say that when the game's released, haha, I told you it was a scam, it was pay to win, it was never coming out. Look, this is only a shell of the project. They'll say something like that. It doesn't matter how good it is or bad it is or whatever. Well, it'll be the same. CIG have repeatedly and continue to break their promise of release months. Well, I mean, their promise of release months since they've done the quarterly schedule has been pretty bang on, other than this one, where they decided to, instead of push a feature back, leave it in because it was much better to. I mean, if you could be angry about that if you want. The constant saying of they're breaking their promises, if you don't expect them to be wrong about this sort of shit when it comes to times and dates, then you are missing the point. Like, they are they're terrible at keeping any form of timekeeping, and they are aware of that. They are, however, delivering the game. So if you're annoyed at them not getting features in that they want to get in, or having to move bits back, then, I mean, also with the release of 3.3, they could have just said, yeah, 3.3 is live. Even though it's in its PTU phase, they could have said that to make the date if they wanted to, but they didn't. Like, I do love you, Ariel Neo. Mwah. I love you, Ray Fighter, as well. You've got a little heart there. I'm in an odd mood, so I apologise if I'm preachy or if I seem to be confusing topics together into a weird merger. My brain's just in a weird place. But what am I planning to do video-wise at the moment? At the moment, I'm planning to do a video on HABs, talking about the future of customizable HABs and hangers, and what we know about that at the moment, what they showed us that's coming with Hurston. I might get that done later today if I've got time, otherwise it'll be tomorrow. And then obviously calling all devs and stuff like that. Very much looking forward to the holiday live stream and all that sort of stuff as well. Hey Bored, when can we buy ships with in-game credits that are affordable? And as well be able to spawn them as many times as we want rather than just once, like on the PTU. Well, the PTU, the insurance thing for them is broken. So in the live build, you should be able to claim any ships back that you bought, not rented. Don't know how rental is going to work, that you bought in-game until there's a reset. You'll be able to spawn like a normal ship and reclaim them like a normal ship. In-game credits that are affordable. Now, that is an interesting way of dimming it, because what's affordable to one person is not to another. It depends on the amount of time you play, how much Alpha UBC you start with, what ships you have available to you. If you look at my recent video, I talk about potentially if we have a Avenger Titan, or if we have more Alpha UEC to start with, or if we have better mission rewards, that sort of stuff. There is a lot you can do to actually make money pretty quickly. Even if you've just got a starter ship, I was looking the other day, you can make a few thousand UEC pretty quick, and then make that into a lot more. And let me show you what I mean, actually. And I will do a video about this once we actually have a live build. So this is the trade price table. Now, This is made by Texas Skulls, I think. I'm sorry if that's the wrong person. I'm pretty sure it's you, but I've linked it anyway. So this shows like the value of commodities in 3.3 and that sort of stuff, and it will change when the build goes live, obviously, and it's a little bit dynamic. They do change the prices. But buying and selling hydrogen or iodine, you can make a lot of alpha UEC really quickly in an Aurora or a Mustang just by filling it up. Well, definitely in the Aurora. And you've got SCU space. So the idea is that you'd leverage more expensive things after you can consistently fill up your cargo bay with this stuff. And then sort of like go up to something that's worth a lot more that would get you, like Widow is the best thing, but you can't get huge amounts of Widow. But use this is your friend, because this can make you tens of thousands of alpha UEC very, very quickly. But I'll do a video on that once we actually have a bit more stable information. But there's lots of ways they can fix the pricing of ships in the short term so they are obtainable. And they are, so don't get me wrong, the prices that they've got for them, they're not awful if the game was live and persistent. It's the issue is that they get scrubbed every 3 months, and mission rewards are bad when you start a server. Mission rewards actually go up if you get a better rep. Well, you have access to a few more missions, which have better rewards. But I still think cargo hauling is the best thing to do, because it's about leveraging the amount of money that you have. And if we had an Avenger Titan that we could buy cheaply, like 500,000 or sub 500k alpha UBC, then we could use that to do better missions, and make more money from cargo hauling. So like the missing link in between the ship prices at the moment. Or rentals. If we have rentals, then it's all sort of like academic, because rentals would mean that we'd be able to get access to those ships significantly quicker. Is it realistic to expect Squadron 42 in December 2019? That is the rumour. That is the rumour. A launch party for it in December 2019. We'll have to wait and see if that's true. We'll know a lot more once the roadmap for Squadron 42 goes live soon. It's being added in December to the current roadmap we have. When are you expecting the full persistence to go live? So we've got orgs and org features and sort of like super expanded group features, and that's the next pillar, and then full persistence, and then server meshing. I'd actually say that server meshing should be probably switched with full persistence. I'm actually expecting full persistence last, because full persistence suggests to me, I suppose they could have full persistence without server meshing. It's just, we could get it next year. We could have server meshing next year as well, by the end of the year. If you were to hazard a guess when you would expect this game to release, it's not going to release traditionally VXS. I couldn't see your name for some reason. So what they're going to do in the short to medium term is every 3 months release a major patch update. Minor patches in between that, and then I'm suspecting in about 2 years we'll have something that is similar to a beta, and then a year after that I would expect them to say, yeah, the game's sort of done now. However, if you listen to their road to release, they basically said when full persistence is there, they're considering the game as sort of like a playable mainstream game. Now, to me, yeah, they might not reset stuff. Well, I suppose that's what it is. If they, after server meshing, if they stop resetting, then it is live. You see what I mean? They might have another major reset after that, but they'll tell us. They'll give us some more information as we get closer to that. Are there plans to make landing less of a 0 to 100 Salam Fest? Yes, there's a new flight model in 3.4, entirely new flight model, which is, you know, big. And one of the things it has is acceleration and velocity control. So you can literally just toggle up and down how much velocity you want, how much thrust power you want. So it's really, really granular. There's no pre-mode, there's no cruise mode, it's all controlled by that. I'm okay with people asking whatever question they really want. Is cannabis legal in the UK? Almastal, thank you very much for the host. Very much appreciated. I think medical cannabis might be legal now, actually, for prescribed in the UK, but it's certainly not legal. Like you can't grab it on the street. Grey market, good or bad in your opinion? It's a brute fact. it's neutral to me. I use the grey market occasionally. I recently asked for a ship because I want to buy a ship for Zen because he so badly he can't afford it and he so badly wants his Genesis Starliner and I don't have one, so I will buy him one at some point. I think the grey market's okay. Black market's a bit more dangerous because it is against terms of service. Black market, that's like selling your account. The grey market's selling ships. Now, that might get stopped eventually. Grey market's a bit risky. Just as I said, it's a brute fact. It's neither good nor bad in my opinion. It's just a thing. And if the grey market didn't exist on Reddit, because it's sort of like an established grey market on Reddit, it would exist on more back alley channels, stuff that's harder to regulate. So the fact it's there and it's sort of like semi-established within boundaries, I suppose means it's a bit better regulated. So in that sense, it's good. The Vandal did nothing wrong. Hello, hello. It's done wonders for you. Good man. Well, maybe one day. Like, I'm pretty good at managing myself, because they basically originally thought I had PTSD, because I'm a bit, it's erratic, and like knocks at the door can freak me the fuck out, and can make me panic. And I used to be on some medication that if I was starting to panic, I needed to take it quickly, otherwise I'd become like a nervous mess. But I'm significantly better now. Greetings from Switzerland, thank you. I greet you, Switzman. Talk about whatever you want, appreciate it. But I like people helping initiate what I'm supposed to be talking about. It helps. I am about 8 minutes behind chat at the moment, so apologies. Bored, have you noticed on the Cutlass, when fighting against AI, there's no visual damage or it's very minimal? I haven't been able to find anyone else reporting this bug. I haven't noticed it, and I've wrecked a load of Cutlasses. I've used a couple of Cutlasses, and they've been destroyed and broke apart fine. I'm laughing about some things I shouldn't mention. Thank you. Appreciated. Any news with the Crytek lawsuit? YouTuber Law typically covers it. He covered it again recently. Basically, he said that potentially some more of... So, Crytek got some of their... CIG got some of Crytek's lawsuit dismissed. The main part is what I would consider it anyway, in my opinion. And so Crytek reapplied with a very slightly different wording, targeting in a very slightly different area, but saying the same thing. So originally they said you have to use our engine to develop your game, and now they're saying, well, you didn't have to use our engine. However, you have to promote our engine, and you can't use any other engine because you'd be promoting it if you used it. So they just reworded it, and they've done that last time. So the idea there being is that the more that allows them to have more discovery, which is then more burdensome to CIG and more time consuming, and it allows them to ask for more in a settlement, if that's the path they're going down. And that's what it looks like they're trying to do. That's how most of these cases sort of end out. Probably a couple of million, could be a couple of million euros on the table for them if they settle, that sort of thing. But we'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. It doesn't look bad for CIG in my opinion, nor in YouTuber Law's opinion. Only in people's opinions, I've seen it look bad that don't have a legal background or a channel on YouTube covering law from a legal perspective. But I'm sure some people say no, it's terrible. I do not agree. I think it's just a bit annoying for CIG. They may well settle for a small amount of money to them, but it's still effectively backer money, and that's annoyed me. However, if CIG have wronged Crytek in any way, they are entitled to that money. And I don't know the ins and outs. I just assume from what I've read and what I've seen that CIG has done nothing wrong, because it looks like they've done nothing wrong. However, I might be mistaken with that. So rather than getting angry at Crytek even at the moment, I'm just going, well, happening, let's just follow it. It's fine to talk about, it's just probably not correct to get angry about it. What about game politics? We cover that, considering how big orgs already are. In-game politics, yes, 100% I'll cover. If it's in-game, and it's not external to the game unless it's somehow related to the game. It has to be related to Star Citizen, is what I'm saying, and then yes. And the idea of political intrigue in-game is fascinating to me, and one of the best parts of EVE to me. Like, I want to be able to go to an event, and I want people to be like, shit, that's, be doing, like, espionage and trying to get people on board for alliance and backstabbing. Oh, that's what I'm after. There's some cool stuff you can do with that. Those fan fests will be so awesome. Thanks for your hard work, Crispy. Thank you so much for the donation. Very much appreciate, Crispy. Super chats are great at funding me. Mwah. How's your kidneys? They've been feeling... So, my kidneys are fine. My back's been feeling a bit odd, but that's because I was being super healthy, really good at eating recently. Then I went away for my holiday with the rest of my BoredGamer friends. It was a little bit stressful on one of the days, admittedly. On the CitizenCon day, I was stressed that I couldn't be covering CitizenCon properly. Had a little bit of an argument with my friends, and I was very drunk. And when I got back, I just started eating loads and badly again, and not exercising so much. So I'm getting back in the swing of eating better. So my back's been hurting a little bit, but I'm good. Like, health-wise, I'm good, pretty sure. They haven't called me about my liver function results, so it's probably not bad. Well, it won't be bad. I do need to call them up about that at some point, though. Could use your influence to have CIG make the kiosk screens sortable and searchable. Already on it. Already messaged them about that stuff. Stuff to do with being able to buy stuff. And specifically that I saw in the issue council a while ago. And I upvoted it. I'm not sure if I've done it for this patch. But I will check it again. The usability of being able to buy and search for stuff on those kiosks is essential. Also, hopefully one day... something that I may push for is more of the economy stuff when it comes to buying and selling. I'd like the idea of buy orders, potentially. Just have to see how their economy works out, if it makes sense. Some of the more buy and sell order stuff from EVE might be a good idea. Might not be. It depends on how their economy works, as I said. So it depends how tactile they want the economy as well. You don't want everything to be entirely automated, because that is not the sort of game model that CIG want for our economy, as they've said from the very start. It's such an important thing, getting it right as well, because their economy is player influenced but not player led. It's an interesting one. But what else have we got here? Is the Oberon system live and accessible? No, not yet. Speaking of trading in Widow, did the Yellow Drugs Lab change location since 3.2? I haven't been there in 3.3. It features, so the procedural tech keeps on getting updated, which means stuff moves around, like features on the map. So bear that in mind. So it may have. I will check, because I haven't checked. It's not even legal for medical. Thank you. I appreciate that answer when you're talking about the marijuanas, because I didn't know. I thought it was. Maybe there's trials. There might be trials or something. I read something about it the other day. Do you think Chris Roberts occupying so many positions, namely project lead and company owner, creates a conflict of interest? I mean, it doesn't create a conflict of interest, because, you know, he's not working for a competing product or game. But, I mean, I'm sure Chris does things that make the project take longer because he's like a perfectionist. I think that's less true now. I think Erin and the structure and some of the other leads and everything, I think, and the way that they're pushing the game every 3 months actually aids in them getting stuff done. I think previous to that, Chris probably was a bit more of a perfectionist, and that might have delayed the project a bit. Hopefully we'll get a better game because of it. You just got a Star Runner. I do like the Mercury. I think it's pretty cool. I'm one of those who invested $1,000 into a Pioneer. Like 750, 950, well, 1,000. They're just under it, but I don't know how I feel about it. Buying it in game, for in-game cash for cheap, even though I'm one of those who invested $1,000 buying a Pioneer, and don't know how I feel about it being buying in game for in-game cash for cheap, even though not know if it will be and how much it will cost. Sorry, my brain just was like, I can't read this. I have to say every word. It's because it was a few of the words were a bit broken. So, if you're buying ships in Star Citizen, be aware that there is a dynamic economy that will take effect at some point, and the price of your ships may vary massively because of that. Some ships in certain areas will get sold incredibly cheaply. Sometimes they'll be incredibly expensive. The economy will be dynamic. There'll be boom and bust. Some stuff might start to be worth pretty much nothing. I say nothing, but a low value you might be able to get. Pioneer incredibly cheaply. It might become super, super rare. We don't know. It's going to be market forces driving a lot of that. Can you add some criticism to this game any day, please? What do you mean? Well, add more? I'll try to remain reasonable and fair and cover the game. I criticise a reasonable amount when I feel that criticising is appropriate. You know, I cover the game. When are you expecting the full persistence to go live? Talked about that. Hi, board. Do you believe they will stick to their word of keeping a few more characters in 3.4? Yes, because they've done the DNA system for it as well, or they've been working on it. And they've been working on it for ages. I mean, it could get pushed back again. There's always a chance of that, but I do think that female characters will be in 3.4. Does it make sense to push 3.3 live now? I mean, since 3.3... So 3.3 is almost ready from PTU. There's a few more bugs they need to quash, crashes, and that sort of stuff, and then it will go live. And then 3.3.5 will probably go to Evocati pretty damn soon after that. Because we see the build in the background is a slightly earlier version of 3.3.5. So we already had something that was semi-working, at least. Do you think dual joystick users on the new flight model will manage acceleration or speed with their go-forward joystick? You can. They talked about splitting and having acceleration control and stuff, or the retros on the second throttle. So there's lots of stuff you'll be able to set it up for. Why am I always so far behind chat? Because I'm shit at reading. And I answer questions. Sometimes I spend a long time answering a question. What is known about the 4.0 series of updates? The numbers really are irrelevant. Every 3 months, new major patch. Occasionally when they go, there's been a big update, which is like a whole new game, then they might go 4.0. Do you see what I mean? Then 5.0 when we've got more systems and things like that. Board, how will the cargo loading work with the prospector's bags onto a hull series or freelancer, for instance? Thoughts? So, interesting one. We know that the bags on the prospector are going to be detachable. We know that they're working on metrics and other cargo containers at the moment. So I suspect those cargo containers will either be able to just sort of like magnetically attach to hull series and other cargo ships with external cargo. Otherwise, you'll have to move them EVA style. Maybe they will have like a little, you know, the MPVUs, or the AP, the little, you know what I mean, the little orange ships. Maybe they'll be useful for that. Will there be any actual weather like rain, storms, etc. in 3.3.5? I don't know. I know they're working on weather for 3.3.5 or have been. I'm not sure if it's going to be in 3.3.5. I suppose whether it makes it or not. Whether it makes it. Fuck you. But no, sorry. Yeah. Dynamic weather. Don't know when. We might get some basic weather effects, wind and stuff. Maybe we get wind and storms. We know they exist in game. It's just they're not going to put it in until they actually have the dynamic system working. I mean, it's like a reasonable state. They don't want to put like placeholders there anymore. BoredGamer, you don't agree with any criticism with the game. You just suck up everything Chris Roberts says. I mean, there's no criticism that you provided. You're just straw-manning me and attacking my character by saying I suck up everything Chris Roberts says. That doesn't seem like a very fair thing. You're not giving me any points. to talk about. You're just saying that I'm not critical enough. And what you mean is I don't think like you, and I don't shit on the game. You're right, I don't. What do you think of the Buccaneer compared to other fighters? It is paper thin, but it's got a huge DPS profile. So, good for escorting is my thing. If you've got Buccaneers as escorts, they're either going to be able to deal a load of damage to something, or the enemy's going to try and take them out first. So that allows you to get away, is my idea. Buccaneer, it's a cool idea for a ship. If you can get a powerful enough shield on it in the future, I think that will be a lot better as a ship. But yeah, I think it works. Really paper thin ship, but good amount of damage on it, good amount of DPS. How long till 3.3 PU goes live? Don't know. I think as early as the end of this week, more likely end of next week. How much do you think CIG have raised or spent already creating this game? VXS. Well, I am semi-prepared today. I just did say semi. For some reason, I do not have that particular window open, but I do have in the background crowdfunding. Bam. So, if you want to know more about the crowdfunding for the game and how much they've raised, have a look at that. I've talked to people that work in the UK office, and the UK are incredibly cheap for, especially up in the north, which is the area where houses are significantly cheaper in the UK. So labour there is incredibly cheap, even like high-skilled labour, unfortunately, for the high-skilled labour. Just because house prices and living prices are cheaper. So most of the people I talked to there that were in mid to high level positions were on pretty low monies. I'm expecting they probably spend about 25 million a year at the moment for the last couple of years, but they've been making, I think, 34 to 36 million. I'm sure there's other stuff that will push that figure up to about 30 mil, especially now. So. That's my sort of like rough out of my arse view on that. But that's a spreadsheet on the crowdfunding, giving you a lot more information. Bear with me 1 second. What sort of lights do you use with your face cam? My normal house light that is just above me. You just need to be reasonably well lit. You don't need super lighting. You just need to not be in a super dark room. Some cameras work really well with low light, and that's what the faceware camera is supposed to do. You can have, I think, all your lights off, and it works pretty damn well. How did you get started with YouTube? Doing Diablo 3 content. I started it. I did lots of other random stuff, and then did some D3 stuff, specifically guides about Diablo 3. About how to get components, because no one else was covering it. Just really quick, snappy videos, Nubophile style. And they got tens of thousands of views, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Then I got into VR, and I started to get consistently thousands on every video I created. And then I checked out Star Citizen and went, no one else is creating content on Star Citizen. I really like this project. This is something to cover. I would have done VR if I hadn't have found Star Citizen. And I'd probably be a lot better, not more well off with VR, because VR was, at the time, was expanding. Longer term, Star Citizen might be a better option. Don't know. But I enjoy it more. So that, certainly for that, it was the better choice. How do you think the new flight model will compare with...
Beautiful.
Oh, Kitra! Oh, thank you very much. I very much appreciate the bits. How do you think the new flight model will compare to the model we had in 0.8? Was that the awesome one? Pre-Rubber Band. I don't know. The new flight model sounds like a lot more like what Chris Roberts has wanted for ages. So... we'll have to wait and see, won't we? It might. I'm hoping it's not terrible. I mean, they need to get that right. The flight model not being correct will delay the project if it's not coming in the right direction in 3.4. That's true. That's just demonstrably true. Well, it's not demonstrably true. It's probably true. Abductively true. Bored is not a shill. Thank you. He's asked some hard questions. Look through the videos he's done. I mean, I complain a lot. I cover the game. I'm a news source for Star Citizen. I summarise things and I talk about my opinions on stuff. Just because I'm interested in Star Citizen, well, I'm not a shill anyway. because I don't get paid by them in any way, shape, or form. I mean CIG. I get nothing from them, nothing at all. Not paid in kind, not paid in promotion. I might, maybe they let me go to their studio tours more often, but I keep on asking. And the last couple of ones I wanted to go on, they haven't replied to me. So maybe they hate me now. They did give me a teacup and saucer though. If you want to explain why I give Star Citizen coverage and why I'm popular because you think I'm a shill and that's the only thing you think of, oh, he's a shill, oh, he must be a shill, then that is your cross to bear. If that's the only way you can explain it, then you've got issues. I'm just saying that, okay? I respect that most people's opinions, but if that's the only way you can explain it, then you're wrong. Because I'm not paid. So fuck you. I do get money from advertising on YouTube. Because in general, people watching my videos makes me advertising revenue. I get Patreon. I get a little kickback from Shadow if people use my Shadow code, which actually gets them discount as well. And I really like Shadow. So yeah. The high level of immersion in Star Citizen, it seems the line between role players and non-role players will be blurred. Any thought what it will mean to be a non-role player in Star Citizen? I mean,
dodging bullets like
you just play Star Citizen. Some people will be role-playing, but role-players aren't typically going to try and force you to role-play. They might call you on comms or whatever, and you can just laugh at them, or you can play with them, or whatever you want. It's a game for everyone, and you can experience it and do it how you want. It's going to be, a big collision of role-players and non-role-players. In the future, there's probably going to be private servers, so you could do role-play-only servers. What's your favourite gameplay aspect of 3.3? Higher frame rates. I mean, everything feels like a new game because of the higher frame rates. We need a new flight model. We need turrets a bit more reworked, and we need accessibility to mission givers and to actually buy and rent those ships. But other than that, it's general frame rates are... how can 3.3 be ready with object container streaming 5 of 15 tasks? Not 5 of 15, is it? I mean, it's working at the moment. Cool tech. What is 5 of 15? So 5 of 15 tasks will be the completion of each individual of the other modules. So when I say the other modules, object container, streaming, background spawning, which is 195 or 198 tasks. However, it's in testing in the persistent universe in the PT at the moment. So those tasks are likely to be bug fixing ones and making sure everyone's connected and that sort of stuff. So what are we getting by the end of the year that you know about? Just the stuff that's on the roadmap. I've done some videos on it as well. So the new flight model is probably one of the main things. Obviously, we're getting Hurston, which is an actual proper planet, and loads more gameplay area, 4 more moons with that, loads more biomes. We're also getting, with 3.4, we're getting ArcCorp, Silly Planet, couple more moons with that. Lawful's Business District, they're going to expand that out. I'm hoping we get object container streaming server-side as well, which would mean that we can have more players in servers potentially, because that's one of the other things we need. Female models, things like that. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have the new DNA customizer for characters as well. What org are you in? You are in as your main or only org. So I've got 2 orgs. I've got my BoredGamer org, which is a social org. And I've got Nomad Black, which is a more gameplay org, which is focusing on higher risk, higher reward, typically PvE encounters on sort of like more dangerous areas in the game, dangerous systems. Because it's going to be good for content. But I will talk about that at some point in the future. Because I'll try and recruit for it. Favourite Premier League team? I don't fucking know. I don't follow football. I suppose I could say Man U because I go to Manchester for like stuff like that. Don't know. There might be CitizenCon up there next year, so I'll say Man U. So I'm less likely to get beaten up. Airlocks are still not designed right. Decompressing ships. Should CIG redesign these? They should apply the room system to them properly and the pressure system, and I think that's something they're working on at the moment. When are we likely to see bank accounts so we can easily transfer money to friends or other players? I suspect that will either be part of or before the orgs pillar implementation. They want to get more org features and more sharing features, shareable missions, that sort of stuff. So with ships being purchasable, you can sort of send money to each other by doing a service beacon, and then your friend's instantly taking that service beacon. What sound does a magnet make? Paching! Well, it depends what the other thing is that's being pulled to the magnet. Will 3.3 bring big frame improvements? Yes. Magnitudes better. When will this title hit beta? I think we'll have something that we would consider a beta in about a couple of years. End of 2020. Thank you for all the love, appreciate it. Will there be any story elements questing to Star Citizen later down the road, like some MMO, but outside of Squadron 42? Yeah. Story elements and quests. Yeah, there'll be quest chains. There'll be hero quests. There'll be interesting things. There'll be big monthly story arcs and things like that probably as well. Do you think we'll be able to buy capital ships in game by the end of 2019? If capital ship you include corvettes, yes. The Hammerhead is a corvette now. So yeah. By the end of 2018, we'll be able to buy that. If you're talking about specifically Polaris, Idris, Javelin, and other ones. If Squadron 42 is released, then yeah, I would expect to see Idris's and potentially even Javelins maybe sold in game, but they'll be near unobtainable. Well, near short-term unobtainable. They take a load of people working together is the idea. Why in the world are you trolling Bored? If you say he's not critical, you're not watching his videos. Boom! Boom! People fucking defending me. Get wrecked. I mean, it doesn't matter if I say negatives or whatever. It's my opinion on whatever. I try to be a reasoned... I'm a source of news and regurgitation and summarization of a lot of this stuff. Occasionally, I will interject my opinion and I'll say it's my opinion. I probably do cover the game relatively excitedly and positively because I'm chilled and realistic. I don't think it's a scam. I think that is demonstrably true, that it is not a scam. 3.3 is consistent 50 to 60 frames for me, Soundwave. Okay, it's actually higher for me. It's 70 plus most of the time. Your mum is good for escorting! Shit, son, I got burned. I need some cameline lotion and a doctor after such a sick burn. One of your favourite ships at the moment. I mean, the Hammerhead's awesome, but turrets need to work better. Orion is one of my top ships. Karok. I mean, loads of ships that aren't out yet. I love the Valkyrie at the moment. I think the Valkyrie is cool. If the Valkyrie fits in my Javelin, then that will make me happy. What are some of my favourite moments playing with friends so far? Mostly with Zen. I quite enjoy playing, like, blowing each other up and stupid shit happening that was unexpected. Like, when we first activated the self-destruct in an Aurora, for example, he was sleeping in the bed behind, and I was in the seat. You couldn't get out of the Aurora in time before it exploded. So we were both going, ah! Let's stick it down. That was before they reworked the destruct timers and things. Yeah, that's funny. I don't think there should be auto-destruct on ships. I think that it should be a buyable module that you put in, and that military ships have that feature. But I think that you should have to buy a module. Because I don't think... You're like, I'm just going to self-destruct. Let's put self-destruct in civilian ship. What? Why? Is there any content on Star Citizen that hasn't been covered? And how do I find a nice bit of original game? People are making original gameplay constantly, but there's very little that you wouldn't have seen, or it would look very similar unless it's really, really sort of like organized. 3.3.5 is when you're going to start to see a lot more cool gameplay stuff because there's so much larger area of gameplay and some more ships and stuff like that as well. And there'll be a lot more people playing probably. There's a reasonable amount of stuff that probably hasn't been covered yet. A lot of stuff that could be talked about and theory crafted. What are your thoughts on the shield hit effect? It's changing, so the shield hit effect is changing so that it is signed distance fields, so that it warps around the hull really well and like snug. That's coming soon as well. That might be coming in 3.4. Don't quote me on that. But... Why is there no AI in the Star Citizen universe like droids? It's a design choice. They don't want players to rely on AI, advanced AI, robots that can do everything. There might be droids for like that are literally manufacturing, but they're unlikely to be fully humanoid. It's just a design choice. But, no, let's not do the whole AI thing. Maybe there'll be an alien race though, that's hostile, like the Borg or droids or AI or something. The idea in lore as well is that anytime they've tried to make AI in game, they've gone mad, or they haven't worked, or it's just collapsed, or whatever. I've seen wind effects, dust on Daymar. Are these placeholders? No, they're part of the effects rather than actual weather. Do you believe the teacup and saucer was your severance package from CIG? Oh, shit. Yeah, maybe. That and all the money. No, don't talk about the money. No, it's good. But like, I don't think I've got a concierge book. Got some pins. I don't think I've got any like Star Citizen memorabilia or anything. I really like that cup though. Do you think we will get more capital ships from CIG by the end of the year? We might get a couple of surprises, but if you're talking about flyable or you're talking about... so you're talking about concept. Yeah, potentially. I mean, they're likely to have some form of capital ship sale at the towards the end of the year, because they always do it like on the anniversary sale. I'm thinking we're going to get Titan suits as well on sale. But it might be another capital ship or something. They know that capital ships sell well. However, we've just had the Kraken big capital ship sell, and they entirely sold out. Don't know how many were sold. I think it's 2,000 to 3,000 hulls, but it might be less. Sorry if this was asked, but what webcam do you use to capture your FOIP for Star Citizen? A C922. I will be setting a C920 up next to it to either capture my face in game or to do this, because you need Star Citizen needs exclusive use of a camera to do FOIP. So I couldn't have my face like I've got it here now in stream. And sometimes I want that. Yeah, Logitech C920, probably your best bet. We don't know how expensive or cheap or good the faceware camera is going to be, so it's only based on that. 2019 is when the faceware camera should be coming out, I believe. I've been worried for a while about the quantity of mission content. Quality is clear focus, so I'm worried about seeing the same 10 missions or so.
WEW, thought I lost my substreak.
Osri77, love your face. Thank you so much for the... Oh my... It's been over a year subbing. And an FFZ support? I don't know what that is, but thank you for supporting FFZ. What is FFZ? What is this? But Osri, I love your face. Thank you. Over a year or over? God. 14 months. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So, yeah. Is there anything on the roadmap about this? So, they talk about mission givers and stuff on the roadmap. They don't really talk much about their modular mission additions. Really. I mean, the monthly report is where you read mostly about it. So, they've been adding new facilities, like the underground facility, and new parts to modules and missions. And some of the missions that we already have will get more and more modular parts, and there's more endings to them. Parts, like some of the stuff we got in 3.3.5, we will be getting the crashed satellite mission, for example. There's a few different ways that that mission can end. You find the satellite, and then the part might just be there. Or you might have to track the part down, and it might have been taken to an outpost or an underground facility, or eventually it might be surrounded by aliens, like animals or whatever, or it might have just crashed somewhere else, and you have to go and find it. So there's a few other ways that can happen. But missions should get more and more variety to them. I'm not sure how much variety there will be in 3.3.5 with all the missions. We can only hope it's
I'm going to buy so many spaceships.
Can't stand odd numbers, and you deserve it.
Thank you so much, Kitra. Thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciated. And I'm sorry that you can't stand odd numbers. I'm hoping someone gives me an odd amount of money now, just so it sets off your OCD and my happy smiley money face. Is there always only going to be a single city on big planets like Hurston? No. There can be multiple landing zones and hero landing zones on planets. There can be lots of other areas. They can split up lots of different parts of things around cities, connect them by trains. You might have to actually fly around to another part of the planet. How does Shadow handle Star Citizen, as it's only got 12 gigs of RAM and 3.2 core clock speeds on the CPU? Okay, so Shadow previously handled Star Citizen reasonably well.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
It was a pretty good experience. It basically got 1080. Star Citizen is RAM and GPU orientated typically, not so much CPU, although you do need like a minimum threshold. 12 gigs was just sort of like barely able to run Star Citizen, but it was able to do it, and Shadow gave a good experience for that. A lot better than most people were having that before they used Shadow. Obviously, it is dependent on latency and where you are in the world and that sort of stuff. But object container streaming, 3.3, significantly better now. However, when I was testing Shadow in the earlier phases of the PTU, thank you very much, Matinator 1212, appreciated. And when I was testing Shadow in the early stages of the PU, it was terrible. It was like, oh my god, this is not working. But now it seems to be working significantly better than it was even previously. Also, you can get your webcam and microphone to work for VoIP and FOIP. And if you mitigate enough of the latency and lag, it works pretty well. That is in 3.3's PTU. I will talk more about Shadow and probably update my guides and stuff once 3.3 is live and I've got it 100% working and I know how it works, because the webcam and microphone were working intermittently for me. There was issues getting it to detect my webcam and microphone, and I think it's because I was trying to record it at the same time and it requires exclusivity, maybe. Yeah, so roleplay is going to be a hell of a lot less cringy because of FOIP and VoIP. People are just going to be running around being mad. It's going to be cool. Do I have some news on the Carrack? Nope. I've got a Carrack. It's one of my favourite ships in the world. But Jared will update us as soon as he knows. It's a scam. The cup is solid gold bullion. I fucking wish. The genuine. I suffer. I'm bipolar and I have an irrational anxiety, but it persists in my head and like attacks. So I was like, what if all the other content creators are getting paid and I'm not? And I'm the only one that's not. I'm a schmuck. That's the sort of thing I think about and worry about occasionally. What do you think the greatest pillar of the game is? And they're all needed. It's when the game is fully live. So full persistence and server meshing, and they're both so essential. I mean, org stuff is essential as well, but should concierge status be a reflection of your hangar's contents, not just of your pledge? Follow up, would that significantly lower the current grey market? Don't know. Concierge status should probably be a reflection of your amount you've actually paid to CIG, probably. Because otherwise, you might have just been gifted something. And that person that gifted it to you, they're the concierge. See what I mean? I don't live in my mum's basement, so I can't afford a new $3,000 PC. But it's playable with a 980 Ti and a 3930K. Yeah, Star Citizen will work. I mean, that's a 3rd Gen i7. That will work really well with Star Citizen still. I mean, you can get away with 2nd Gen Intel CPUs, in my opinion, as long as they're i7s. But then 980 Ti GeForce is still pretty solid. How's Morty Crew right now? Significantly better than it has been previously. There's more to do. There's MFDs and stuff. Turrets are still not in the best place in the world. I'm expecting them to get a lot better with the new flight model. Are you going to make a video on the anniversary sale coming up? I'll make a video on everything Star Citizen related that I can. That seems sensible to do it on. So yes. Star Citizen isn't pay to win, but it's definitely pay for a better start. There's no denying that people have dropped $5,000 on ships. Will be way ahead of those buying the game on release. Depends on how they do the release as well. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on there, isn't there? But some people have been playing for ages, some haven't. It's all a factor. The people that play for longer are going to be doing better out of it, though. Hey, Board, what do you think of ships in the released state of the game being behind other progression gates, reputation, etc.? I don't know what you mean by that, Frozen Cheetahs. I want progression and other stuff. Reword that if you wish. BoredGamer, can we hope to be as cool as our hero, you? But seriously, thanks for being a great member of the community. That's not a question. Also, thank you. Do you think the frame rates will be bad in Lawville compared to the rest of the PU? No, I think that... I mean, they've got a working prototype here, and that was a while ago, so I think the object container streaming will be even better. And that's the idea. As long as object container streaming is working, they'll just pack every little section of object container streaming with as much detail as reasonable. So it should be above certain frame rates consistently. You shouldn't get huge slowdown anymore. But, what if it's super dense here? Well, the idea is that the object container streaming will break it down into smaller and smaller areas. Item 2.0 and the new damage states where we move away from ship health points and time to disable is the new way to kill the ship. Thoughts on when this will be implemented? So time to disable is going to be phased in. I think we're going to start to see that more and more in every patch. So we should see some of that with 3.3.5 and 3.4. And then time to kill is going to be a lot higher. I'm going to start to see that probably actually a bit in 3.3 because they've got item and weapon degradation. And you can shoot off people's systems. But the time to kill isn't really there yet. And we don't have the true disabling really. What's your best guess to add a date in which we can play with the Kraken? I don't know. Depends. Depends when they think they need the Kraken. Could be as early as the end of next year, but that's unlikely. More like the middle of 2020 sort of thing. It's a big ship. Do you think CIG needs to revise the current release calendar to align with CitizenCon and possibly reduce the amount of releases a year to improve development time? No. I just think they need to be more prepared for what they need to do. I would probably still release, if it was me, I'd still release at the end of September. And not have Star Citizen align with anything other than... not have CitizenCon align with anything other than CitizenCon. Don't have a special release there, but that's just me. Keep stuff like that. But it's object container streaming. It was such a major thing. I mean, and they might hold back a patch a bit if it's server meshing or one of those other core pillars. They're like, yeah, honestly, this is really important. And people go, yeah, that's really important. And some people will go, they lied again. It's like, no, they actually said they would remain flexible and change dates if necessary, which is what they've done. But they've been pretty good with it. I mean, a lot of people just want to point out things that CIG do wrong and then say that's proof of something. Those people are a bit weird, typically. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having genuine criticism, though. But it is when you think that you can affect it by just being a bit of a dick. Are some rumours about a new mid-salvage concept sale? I mean, it sounds reasonable. They did, a while ago, say they wanted, for most ships, a small, medium, large, and potentially a capital ship for each of them. And then they said later on, well, we don't need it for every ship. So, yeah, we could see a medium-sized salvage ship. We could see lots of ground-based vehicles, ground salvage craft. Can we the Carrack mid-November for the anniversary? I don't know what that means. You might be able to buy it on the anniversary, though. I love the Sabre, yes. Saber's my favourite character.
Dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
Yes, you'll almost certainly be able to buy the Carrack. Thank you very much, Twinstar. Twistar. Twistar 82, thank you. The dog faces, appreciated. I'm the worst at reading names. Even if you're a regular, I can't read it, even if it's my name. It's 3.3 live yet. PTU is available for everyone, but the 3.3 is not a live build yet. Hurston is close, I can feel it in my waters, yes. Is there a concept ship in your head you would love them to do? Space station construction, lots of stuff on the ground, salvage on the ground, repair on the ground, salvage tow ship. There's loads. Think there'll be a spooper, space Uber, Uber ship that's like an Argo with a quantum drive. So the 85X is pretty much there. I will probably check out X4, yes. But exactly how many weeks? I don't know. Your best guess, 3.4 before the end of the year? Yeah. Yeah. Last day that CIG is in the office, it will either be a PTU for everyone or it will be a live build. I'm hoping it will be a live build, but well, maybe it will be a live build and not super crashy. How do you think CIG will continue to support themselves financially now that ships are becoming purchasable in the game? It was like a pivotal moment we're getting to. I think that when Squadron 42 actually goes pre-order properly, they'll make a lot of money. When Squadron 42 gets released, they'll make a load of money. That's hopefully going to be next year. I think they'll actually make more money in ship sales because more people will feel that they want to invest in Star Citizen. And for some people, they'll be like, oh, I don't want to grind. Or at least that's how they see it. And they'll buy like Avenger Titans and things. So I actually think they'll make more money out of having the economy in the game better and having purchasable ships. So yeah. And financially, they'll support themselves by selling, beyond that, UEC, ships, ship packages anyway. I'm okay with them selling concept ships still, even after release. But some people wouldn't be, some people would be, I certainly would be. They will explore avenues to fund the game if necessary. I think that's basically what they've said. That's what Aaron said to me in an interview when I poked him before. Why are ships not purchasable off the RSI website? They are, even though they are ready for flight in-game. They literally are purchasable from the website. Not all of them are. Some of them are limited ships. They sort of like create artificial scarcity and hype for things. You'll be able to buy a lot of the ships in-game. Some of them in 3.3. More of them in 3.3.5, and more with every patch release after that. You're able to buy them in-game with in-game money. So, and also, anniversary sale is going to be like 24th-ish of November. You're able to buy the ships that you can't buy that are flyable now. You see what I mean? Ships that are flyable now that you can't currently buy, you're able to buy on that anniversary sale almost certainly. In 23 days, Farming Simulator 19 will be out. People go mad for that game, don't they? We do a video or stream of the anniversary sale information. I'll definitely do a video, and we'll talk about it when I stream around it. But yeah, of course, anything Star Citizen news related, or anything Star Citizen related, I'll do a video on it if it's something that we need to talk about. And the idea of my YouTube channel is for Star Citizen coverage in all its forms. Do you think ArcCorp as a concept makes sense? Yes, Big Silly Planet, it's cool. It makes enough sense for me to suspend my disbelief. Estimate on 3.3.5 PTU release as early, in my opinion, as the middle of November. Recently joined Star Citizen to find your channel, and I wanted to thank you for the content you've made. It's been very helpful and entertaining. Thank you very much. Cupcakes, very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you for all the love from everyone else as well, by the way. It's appreciated. And thank you for all the donations. Thank you. Has CIG floated any ideas about planets or other areas like dungeons or raids? They've said that missions will be scalable. They're not going to scale up to what you bring with you. They're just going to literally be available missions, and you have to work out what you should bring with you. So they're going to have details of like, this mission's harder than this one, so they're going to scale for harder difficulties. So potentially you could say that's a dungeon or a raid. There's going to be, so effectively there'll be super hard missions that require loads of people. That's a raid. There'll be underground or space stations and stuff that are entirely mission based that will be hard dungeons, and probably with bosses and things in them. Like a pirate boss, just big tight suit running around. 3.3 live dates, as early as I said, as early as the end of this week actually, but more realistically early end of next week probably, maybe. Is Chris Roberts the Kraken? That's what Sandy seems to imply. How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? 7 or 8. This isn't a question. My nose is bleeding. I just wanted to let people know they don't necessarily need a 9 or 10 series card. Good. I run Star Citizen on an i7 processor. What i7 have you got, though? Is it 2nd gen, 3rd gen, 4th gen? And a 780 Ti. So 780s are still great graphics cards. They're one of the really, really good but older graphics cards now. When do you think popping of rocks will be fixed on planets? They're working on it now. I'm hoping it will get better and better every patch. It's to do with levels of detail and object data streaming, loading stuff in and out. Nexel, Corsair, or Titan? Yeah, so he's Jolnor is referring to the Drake Corsair, which would be a competition to the sort of like Constellation, or Titan, as in Titan armor rather than the Avenger Titan. It could be both. I'm hoping Titan armor for the next sale because I've wanted it for so long. What if some ships are locked behind other types of progression? You need a certain amount of reputation to obtain. Say Gladius. That might be true of some of the military ships and components, and some of the other stuff to get them easily or from NPCs. Yeah, they might be, especially like the military ones. Yeah. This is the question. I read that earlier. Love. Is there a schedule when more ships are purchasable in game? Typically, as they add more gameplay area, more ships will be purchasable now. So 3.3 going live. Teacher's Shop on Levski. 3.3.5. We know at least there's going to be New Deal on Lawville on Hurston. 3.4 almost certainly will have a ship shop of some description on Arc Corps Area 18. Has the Kraken moved away from having on-board shops? Yes, it has moved away from having on-board shops since they originally started talking about it. It can repair, rearm, and refuel ships that are on it. It's got internal bays for that as well. It's got bays on top for some servicing of ships. It's got guest quarters, but it doesn't have shops. But I suppose you could still sell things to people. You could have stuff in a cargo bay and sell them to them. Just doesn't have like I suspect you can probably get dispenser machines for food and drinks as well. Maybe. They've talked about it before. They said that that's something they want to do. What's your opinion on the Mercury Star Runner? And how do you think it fits in with other ships that can do similar roles? I mean, you say similar roles, it is as fast as you can, a data/cargo runner from A to B. It is a medium, small, it's a small ship really. And it's a small ship that does that role particularly well. The Herald is more sort of like for data hacking and transmission. It can't carry as much data. It's suitable for different sort of missions. But the Mercury Star Runner are much more of a smuggler, courier. Do you think ship or Alpha UEC, or UEC to buy ships will be sold after the release? Yes. And do you think that will amount to pay to win? I think that will amount as much pay to win as EVE used to be. It is certainly pay to advantage or pay to remove time stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff. The game is, by its very nature, going to be incredibly tactile. So it is going to be play to win the game. There are definitely going to be elements which people can identify as pay to win. Do you get an advantage from buying loads of ships? Well, yes, you get a money advantage. You can't deny that. You get a money advantage. However, that's then applied leveraged in game, and the economy is only player influenced. So there's a lot going on there that means that it probably won't fuck the game up for having those sort of elements into it as well. It's not like a loot box. It's not as if people can't obtain the things that people are paying to win with. And also, if someone buys a big capital ship, well, they need the crew to run it. Someone else will buy it in your org. Get into their org. Fight someone else's. It's going to be about encounters and escalation anyway, typically, when you're talking about winning. And that will require lots of planning. It will be whoever's best at planning will most certainly win most of these fights. But one-on-one, if you're one-on-one in Arena Commander, better ship wins if you're both the same skill. Do you think... Blah, 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 blah. But I don't think it will be. I don't think it will ruin the game. But it's something we do need to watch, and we need need to be vigilant for. 100%. I mean, no reason not to go, well, let's make sure it's not pay to win and talk about things when we don't like them or like them or whatever. Do you think the game will be subscription a fair while after launch to keep the game afloat, even though this isn't what CIG wants? They would explore that if they needed to. What would you say would be a must for you to buy in 3.3 that's not already purchasable? Avenger Titan. Avenger Titan needs to be available, and it needs to be a reasonable price that allows players to, from starter ships, then do a load of other missions by getting that, and it allows them to do cargo running. Just needs to be there. Or rentals. Or both. Actually, both is probably a better option. Hornet cargo box works now. Fantastic. Thoughts on if the Javelin will be on sale again? Maybe. As the population of the game goes up, they will add more capital ships in sales. So, I've got a Javelin from referrals. Fucking epic win. Did you notice that 3.3 has more tasks to complete than 3.3.5 on the public roadmap? Do you have any thoughts or concerns? I mean, I'm playing in the PU now, so it's kind of, the roadmap for 3.3 is semi-irrelevant, really, because got it in a actual live, in a build that I can play. Concerns-wise, I mean, how long is it going to be until that's released is my concern, but it looks realistically maybe end of next week. 3.3 live, maybe, unless there's a blocker, which does sometimes happen. The issue with the roadmap when you're looking at task amounts, so you see like object container streaming, 195 out of 198 tasks complete. We don't know how big those last 3 tasks are. They might be minuscule, they might be massive. Or one task to complete on, like, one task left on something. I mean, that could be a massive task, it could be a minor task, we don't know. It's not a good indicator. How long are we streaming today? I don't know yet, Dalton. Any word on VR? I know they intend to support it, but with the render load, do you believe it's definitely feasible? It's whether or not, it's just when, I suppose. Much more likely to come in Squadron 42 first. Some rumours about yeah, we've talked about the mid-tier salvage ship. Hard Brexit win? I don't know. Hard Brexit time, just after that's probably a good time to invest in British businesses when they're at their lowest point. Do you think it would be a good idea to have some sort of level system to stop pay to win from happening, such as you have to be level 40 to use a Kraken? Oh, no levels. No levels or experience. I love you, BoredGamer. Okay, maybe not that much. I think you do, actually, Michael. I liked your video on balancing in-game prices. They really need to make some missions profitable enough to cover expenses and, okay, profit. Yeah, they just need to make it so that people can obtain them in a timely manner, ships, because the server's getting reset at least once every 3 months. They just need to be obtainable. And that's fair. I mean, there's lots of ways they can do that. So we've got a different pre-full persistence. The game's very different. After full persistence, we might not get any more resets. So, when can we expect ship-to-ship cargo transfer, like Prospector Giving or to Freelancer? When you can transfer some cargo now, you are okay. They are working on a multi-grid physics tech and more cargo stuff. So different metrics for different size cargo containers, so that like the hull C can be used, and that the prospectors. Saddlebags can be detached. I don't know when that's going to be done, though. It's on the backlog at the moment. I suspect it's quite high on the backlog, though. So, no, Mama Merkel's toast. How long until May is drawn and quartered? Oh my god. No politics, please. No politics in gaming. When can we expect being able to pay people directly instead of using beacons now? Potentially by 3.4. I'm playing 3.2, and I keep failing missions whilst flying to them. Is that a bug? Yes. Do you think they will hold 3.3 in PTU until 3.3.5 is implemented, and then roll them out together? we'll get 3.3 live, and then we'll get 3.3.5 PTU. Pleasant statement. I really enjoyed your latest Org Spotlight, BG. Very nice indeed. Seemed like you guys had some chemistry. I tried to have chemistry with anyone I interview. What I'm going to do is talk to them for like at least 10 to 20 minutes before I start the interview. The Org Spotlight for me is very important for getting the right people, the right orgs, and the right orgs, the right people, and it's an advert for them. It's a pure advert. You don't need to give me ships for an org, for an org interview or anything like that either. Just feel free to go onto my Discord. There's a literally section for it. Put your org details in there. It doesn't matter if they're big, small, or whatever. Send me as much detail as you can about them. Basically, as if I was a new player and we were trying to recruit me, and as much information link-wise as you can, so I can go, cool, let's have a look at their org. Let's have a look at their org page. Do they have a Discord? Oh, cool, yeah. Oh, actually, there's a new gameplay loop. Or actually, I want to cover an org that does this particular gameplay. Bam. So I will be doing org spotlights more often again. But because some orgs I want to cover have no ability to donate or some deal. I'm not. If anyone wants to donate ships and stuff to the org spotlight, great. But I will ask you. But don't tell me they're going to do that before I ask you. Do you see what I mean? Like, if you want, I will contact you. Don't tell me anything about giving me shit. I contact you and say, I want you for an org spotlight. We can arrange everything, and then you can say, also I have this ship to give away. I don't want it even to be a factor in me choosing someone for an org spotlight, because, you know, otherwise it makes me look greedy, and I'm trying to, for org spotlight, I think it's generally a cool little thing. I want all orgs to be represented. However, if you want to give me a ship, you're more than welcome. It's like the weasel side of me comes out and goes, well, you know, I'm not going to say no, though. Do you think they'll keep all 500 plus employees they currently have after release? So, I think that they will stop hiring once they get Squadron 42 out as much. I mean, they have a little hiring and they'll tweak stuff. I think they might sort of like stabilize around 450 employees. They'll probably get rid of some people and contractors and things. Makes sense they do that. We'll have to wait and see. When can we expect the character to go live? Don't know. Are you able to walk around in your Javelin right now? No. I wish it was a hangar level or something, and that would be cool, even if I couldn't fly it, but no, unfortunately. Do you think CIG host Gab? As far as I'm aware, Gab is now gone. When will my ship correctly damage blow up when I crash into the ground, or not planned? New flight model 3.4, we should hopefully see some better dealing with ships crashing into planets and things. How do you think they'll balance taking someone's ships forcibly? So typically that's only going to be doable, really. Doing it in a piracy fashion. So if you're a pirate trying to take a lawful person's ship over, that's unlikely to happen ever in UE space. Because trying to take someone's ship over and attack them and stuff is very likely in secure space going to get the cops all over you pretty quick. In the more dangerous areas, that's going to be a bit different. It's going to be a genuine sort of like a worry for players. And if you're a lawful player trying to take someone's unlawful ship, well, that's an interesting one. Because ships themselves can be criminal, I suppose, because they're previously stolen. So even if you're a lawful player trying to take a unlawful ship or ship that's been previously robbed, if you're seen in it, you're going to get a criminal rating. So it might be better to destroy and salvage or something like that. You see what I mean? So that sort of stuff needs to be balanced. It hasn't been talked about really. I don't know how they're going to balance it properly, but it's going to be a thing. I mean, the time to disable, ships being disabled and boarded is going to be a fact of life. In fact, it sounds like some of the most exciting gameplay. What else have we got here? Have you tried the VoIP tracking? Yeah, it's great. Oh, will it work better with a curved monitor? I don't have a curved monitor. I don't know. I need to try. Do you know when they are planning to start rebalancing the economy so we can see more and more properly? and more properly judge their monetization scheme. They're going to be working on it more and more every patch. Full persistence is when they need to have a solid economy by. I randomly played Star Trek Bridge Crew The Next Generation the other day. I was trying to play with Sin and DC, but couldn't, because they hadn't bought it, and I was stressed out. So I just went into a game, and I was waiting in the lobby for them before I realised they weren't coming. And some random other streamers came in, and I played with them. And it was actually quite fun, because they had no idea who I was. I didn't know who they were. Eventually I realised that I found them, and I was like, oh, they're pretty cool. I like this guy. He's quite funny. But they made me captain, and they just... It was good. I'll put the video up at some point. I prefer not to sell access to me. I might do it sort of like I'm more likely to play at times with Patreons or something, but I don't like that idea that it's super exclusive. I will just come on to Star Citizen on my Discord more often and play with people, and I'll do some more organised events. So that's what I'm going to do in the shorter term. What do you think? What do you think we will get performance chart of all players? What do you think we will get the performance chart of all players that Chris mentioned at CitizenCon? Will be a great way to see how hardware performs. Yeah, so probably with 3.3 going live, we'll get to see the metrics and all that data of what processors are being used, what frame rates people are getting, all that sort of data. That'll be cool. Do you see Spectrum post highlighting some of the problems with gunnery that will arise from the new flight model? I read some of it, and I saw that devs commented on it saying, awesome. So I will check it out, probably in a video at some point, once it gets some more dev attention. When does Squadron 42 come out? Any date? There's a rumour that they've got a launch party coming at the end of 2019 for it. So... and we'll know more about Squadron 42 and when it's coming out, with the roadmap being added to the current roadmap we have in December this year. When are you going to give your own org spotlight? When it's being run properly. When I feel like it's able to be run and people aren't going to get ignored, and I'm not going to stop doing it and then go back to it or whatever. I'm just going to do it regularly. Might be after I hire Zin, so I'm going to be probably hiring Zin to do what I do. Literally share my load, do more work, more streams, more videos, get multiplayer videos, play more regularly, lots of stuff. But that would be a full time, so that's going to be expensive. But I think it's sustainable, and I think it will grow the channel significantly. What is the news on the Anvil Hawk? Where is it in the pipeline? It's coming with 3.4. So end of December. Ships. Let me just check that, make sure that's still correct. Hasn't changed magically while I've looked away. The Anvil Hawk. Bringing 3.4. Hopefully some more bounty huntery stuff there as well. Do you think the Reliant might finally become a viable alternative to the Adventure once it's available for in-game purchase? So the Reliant is getting a rework as well. So... getting improved and a bit of a rework for 3.4, so I will reserve my judgment until then. It's supposed to be a cheap next tier after your starter ship sort of thing. It's a second tier starship, the idea of it. So yeah, it probably will be a good alternative to the Avenger. What do you think will happen to the Retaliator base and its modules? I haven't heard much about it later. Don't know. It's not going to be ignored. It's going to get a little bit of an update, definitely. And it'll get the modules added at some point. I suspect 2019 will be the year of modularity. Towards the end of the year, I suspect we'll start to see lots of modular stuff actually implemented. If you get stolen goods, or stolen goods shouldn't be there, be a good way to turn them... Will there be a way to turn them to the authorities? Having goods be bad forever seems like a waste of potential. Maybe bounty hunters will be able to... recapture stolen goods or something. I like the idea of a mechanic where you can salvage criminal ships, or you can recapture them, or you can recapture supplies and stuff like that. But I don't know how they'd implement it. But I like the idea of it. Ship and moreover ship. And I was wondering ship. Thank you for your question. Any news on ship? Do you think CIG will build solo tier 2 ships? So solo players have something to upgrade to, not for multi-crew, like exploration solo cruise ships that can take a ground vehicle. Maybe. I can see sort of stuff like that. I mean, some ships are suitable for that anyway. I mean, you'll be able to hire NPCs, and you'll be able to get AI modules to control turrets and things. So you can run those ships solo anyway, sort of. Hey BG, any office tour soon that you're going to get an interview with a key member of the team? So I've asked Concierge and CS when the next office tour in the UK would be, and if they give me, as soon as they give me a time or one that's available, if one is available, because I suspect that I'm not particularly high on any waiting lists. I'll keep on poking them. Eventually, they'll say yes. Then, once I know I've got an office tour, then I'll ask, is anyone available to interview, like Aaron or Luke Presley or someone like that? I'm pretty malleable. So. Excited for Squadron 42 roadmap? Yeah. Huge amount of information they potentially could be giving us, and it gives us a load of information. Do you think they're ready to start some work on Squadron 42 episode 2? Yeah, so I suspect they've already done a little bit of work. I mean, all the core stuff is there. Boom. It's just mocap and probably a couple more ships.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Kitra, thank you very much. I love your face. And then cinematic scenes. So it's the story and then the building of the levels. But a lot of the level building will sort of already be there modularly. So Squadron 42 episode 2 should be 1 billion times quicker. Because they don't have to build the game. They have to build an expansion pack. Do you see what I mean? There's more levels and more gameplay for it. Is the Vanguard getting a rework? I think it's getting some love, but not like a full rework. How many hours is Squadron 42 main storyline going to be set? And how many hours of side content? I think they said if you stretched it out, doing a full sort of playthrough and messing around could get you 70 hours for your first playthrough, I think. I'm expecting that's realistically more like 50. What will stealth do? Stealth mechanics. What are the benefits? Missiles take longer. Orange triangle doesn't show up until the ship's closer. So, the lower your IREM and CS, I suppose, the harder it is for missiles to lock onto you. But stealth mechanics mean you're less likely to be detected in the first place. But missiles have a type as well. So you have CS missiles, IR missiles, EM missiles, and they literally lock onto the signature they can detect. So if your ship is being seen and targeted, but an IR missile is trying to lock onto it, but your ship has very low or no IR signal, then the missile's not going to lock or track. Help me understand the stealing of ship. If my ship is stolen, but I have insurance on it, do I get it back when I claim? Does the pirate keep it? Are there now 2 ships? Yes. So the idea, in the short term, so this is what currently happens. Someone steals your ship, they got your ship, they're flying it around. You go and reclaim it, bam, you've reclaimed it, there's now 2 ships. Yeah? I believe they become a criminal when you reclaim it. As soon as you reclaim that ship, it goes, you're in a ship that's been reclaimed, you are a criminal. Once they log off, so they can't land it anywhere. Well, they can't land it on any station, and they can't store it at the moment at all. I think you can log off in a bed and keep it when you come back. Maybe. I can't remember. I have done that before, and that has worked, but I didn't test it over a huge period of time. The ship might have just still been there. So bear that in mind. Eventually, what will happen is that if you're detected in someone's ship that has been reported stolen or claimed, thank you very much, Nuba, much appreciated. Then you will get a criminal rating. So, and then they'll go, they'll chase you, they'll try and chase you down. You have to get away, whatever. If you're in, and it depends on the laws of the area as well. So that might not be a criminal area because there might not be any people giving a shit. If you steal someone's ship in fringe space where there's no UEE presence or whatever, there might not even be a crime committed. So that's sort of like the risk-reward factor coming in there. But yeah, if you steal a ship in UEE space or somewhere that's got a law that says that stealing is wrong, and like outlaw areas might not have that law, but they probably will still, then bounties will be created for you, people will come bounty hunting for you, that sort of stuff. But yeah, the idea is that once someone claims it, they'll have to wait a certain amount of time, or pay expedited fees, whatever, to get their ship back. You will have different levels of insurance as well for the cargo and items on your ship and that sort of stuff as well. So bigger ships are obviously going to take longer to replace. So we know that Vulkan is going to be integrated into the game. We don't know about ray tracing or anything else. They will absorb technology like ray tracing and stuff if it's sensible for them, and if they start to see benefits in it and it's easy for them to do. Will friends be able to party with each other if they are 3 systems away from each other? You'll be able to form a group and party, yeah. I mean, you can form it outside of the game, is the idea as well. Do you think you might not be able to talk in-game VoIP, though, unless you're in the same system? Do you think the 600i will turn out to be a viable Explorer? Yes, the Explorer variant will be. Even probably the luxury variant will probably be reasonably good at exploring. The hold F to interact and then select interaction mechanic is a bit clunky and breaks immersion a bit. Do you know if CIG has any intention of reworking this mechanic? It'll probably be tweaked and refined to be better. Any updates on the Sentinel or Harbinger? Nope. I know that they were working on them, and then I stopped hearing about them. I'd expect them to get added to the roadmap, actually. Sort of like either in a patch that we already have, like 3.3, 3.5 or 3.6, or 3.7 when it gets added to the roadmap. Do you know when the rest of us will get 3.3? Well, it's available to everyone on the PTU, so you can get it now and download it. 3.3, I'm hoping it'll go live by the end of next week, is most realistic. Some module available to deploy a Nova tank from a Valkyrie. The Valkyrie's too small. Nova's pretty big. Valkyrie rework then? No. No, the Valkyrie is used in Squadron 42. That's how it's staying. They might go, they might rework it. They might say it can have cargo. Like maybe they might put a little tiny cargo bay in it, or say, oh yeah, it can have some cargo, but I doubt it. The Saber Raven has 2 months of insurance. Do you think that may hint at its in-game availability? Makes me think it'll be more rare over time. Yes, I think it'll be more rare over time as well. But I'm hoping that they give those ships, like they did the Gladius and Gold, the referral ones, lifetime insurance. Question back to the pirating of ships. If there are now 2 ships, could this be exploited by people working together? I think the idea is that they're going to put some stuff in place to make sure that insurance scams like that don't happen. But one person's going to be have a bounty on them, and it's probably going to be worth, in time or whatever, if they get caught, more than the ship was. So they just have to balance it right, and there's a lot of stuff they need to work out, and that's one of them. They need to make sure that people can't exploit the system. If you're found to be exploiting the system like that, maybe the insurance company in-game goes, nope, ship's gone. Your ship's gone. With the Caterpillar modularity, do you think it's possible they may take it in the direction of placeable items rather than discrete rooms? No, I think it'll be discrete rooms. Whole swappable modules. I mean, after you watching the Mod Squad sort of CitizenCon presentation, I think it's much more likely to be entire swappable rooms. What patch comes after Z? They'll just add another letter. It'll be AA. AB. What profession am I most excited for? Economy stuff. Probably science now. Science is so encompassing of so many things. Bored, do you think there'll be any IRL phone apps that will be integrated into the game to offer features like and function like GTA 5, iFruit app, and Saint Row app? Yes, so I think there's going to be a load of CIG-made apps for the Mobiglass, loads of them. I'm hoping that they release the API and allow other people to make Mobiglass apps. That would be amazing and be so good for their game. So potentially and hopefully. I mean, they want private servers and they want modding. I like the idea of them having You could have an app store, actually. You could sell them for UEC in game. Yeah, that would work. They could have an app store. They could verify any apps that are good. I like the idea. Murder Doll. Chris Roberts and Sandy are husband and wife. So I'm glad there's a lot of that there. Well, not glad. Me. Do you think it's realistic to party with friends that... yeah, talked about that. Do you think the F8 Lightning will be available for player purchase immediately after completion of Squadron 42 Episode 1, or will we have to wait until all of Squadron 42 is released? So as soon as Squadron 42 Episode 1 is released, you will be able to get the F8 Lightning once you have got to a certain point in Squadron 42 Episode 1. You basically unlock some of the military stuff by playing Squadron 42. You get it available to purchase in game from some source or whatever. You'll probably be able to buy it from players, even if you don't play Squadron 42 Episode 1, and you'll probably be able to get it from some other means in game from NPCs by doing other missions and stuff in Star Citizen, even if you don't have Squadron 42. It's just, that is one of the ways they said. Question, Chrome Hounds, ESO, Good Wars 2, a game mechanic where players could join factions, and these factions had multi-week wars for controls of areas. Anything like that on the horizon? Well, there's going to be guilds, so they're basically NPC factions and orgs that give you benefits. They might have wars. Obviously, organizations will have wars. There might be UE versus Vandal in some areas. There's a lot of stuff like that that's sort of like probably going to happen. Will the Freelancer Dur have enough quantum fuel to jump across the entire Stanton system without refueling? Probably. I don't know how they're going to balance all of that. I suspect so. And the Dur's got a load of fuel tanks. I suspect that quantum fuel... What I'd do is I'd have it lasting a long time, be quite expensive. How long do I think 3.5 is going to be in PTU? I don't know! That's a weird question. That's a while away. I read, if you can get it if you spend 10k on game as one of the perks. Yes, so people that have spent $10,000 on the game do get a free civilian version of the F8 Lightning as a perk. But, I mean, those perks are silly, and they're not, like, the best things in the world. You better buy them in-game. Could 2019 be the year of Crusader Industries? I mean, there'll probably be some Crusader Industries ships. How many users does Star Citizen currently have, and when would you expect it to hit high numbers and proper user base? I mean, it's got a reasonable base at the moment, but it's certainly not mainstream. Once they have server meshing and full persistence, maybe towards the end of 2019, you might see the game as like mainstream. I think we're going to get a big influx of players, and it will be a lot better the end of this year, 3.4. Because, you know, we've got frame rates now. We'll have a planet, playable areas, hopefully more players on servers, maybe. You can hardly see my face. I can see it fine here. I was doing a FOIP. Lord, you should both do. Is that better? I'm caught up! I'm caught up! Motherfucker! Please, no community apps. I mean, I think they should be verified by people. I like the idea of, like, community content and community mods and things I like. I think you get things like Dota in Warcraft 3. I used to play a load of Warcraft 3. So I feel that a load of beautiful mods come to the surface from that. I mean, I'm not talking about the community for Dota 2. I'm talking about more of the game itself. And Dota was great. I mean, you spent over billions of dollars. Trillion, zillion dollars. No shiny spaceships for you. What do you mean get them all in game? Get them all in game. No one needs to buy any of these super expensive ships. If you really want to back Star Citizen further and you have the spare capital and you already got a really powerful rig, then cool. Buy cool shiny ships. It's just, you know, it's all going to be obtainable in game. And you can just go join an org that's got these ships already and stuff like that. Like, I'm all forgiving to Star Citizen if you want to. I don't want people to feel like they need to, or they're getting this like massive advantage and they can't compete unless they buy a ship. That's just simply not true. You'll be fine with just a basic starter ship. Aspire. I invited CIG to personally pull apart my app and see the back end of it to give you an idea of how I roll. Cool. That would be awesome. I don't suspect they'll give you much stock at the moment, Aspire, because they probably don't even have a department that would deal with that. They'll be like customer support, and they'll be like, ah. But I love your app, Aspire. I love the stuff you do. And I will give it some more love at some point. For people that don't know what I'm talking about, actually, I'll give you some love now, Aspire. Boom. Aspire does this little My Fleet thing. So basically, it shows you to scale your chips on your account. And there's some cool new features where you can see them like test branded or Matador's branded or whatever. But it's all cool. See them to scale. I fucking love it. And the link's there. Boom. No, what have I done? I did something. Boom. Will there ever be an option to release torpedoes bombs manually without missile lock? Bombs, probably. Because we haven't had bombs yet. I'm assuming you can just drop bombs. I think that's probably going to be the use of bombs. They don't lock on, but they detonate. Maybe even they might detonate after a certain amount of time. It might be proximity detonations. If they actually have proximity bombs, then they'll probably have mines as well in the same way. I like the idea of dropping a missile out the back of a ship, though. I see Aspire knows the score. Give him some advertising and then he pays me. Thanks, Aspire, mate. You don't need to give me money, but I'm more than welcome to, though. Thank you very much. I will take a look at your app occasionally and poke it and prod it and give it some love because I do think it's useful. Alaran as well with his Hangar apps and Hangar mods, so you can literally go into the RSO website and list all your stuff and sort it all significantly better. That is a lifesaver to anyone that's got big accounts and stuff. There's some lots of shit on them because you can't look through hundreds of pages. You just go bam. Do you think the Kraken won't need to refuel with 4 fuel intake modules? Oh, good question. Don't know. I don't know about the efficiency of fuel intakes. I think... I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I'll have to do a video on that when we know how the mechanics work. Do you think they can get 3.4 out on time? Yeah, I think they can. Might not, but I think they can. What's up with the Mustang in the PTU? I have one. Are we keeping these? What did I miss? Mustangs have been reworked for 3.3. So the idea is that, yeah, it's the new Mustangs. All Mustangs are replaced with them. Their wings fold up and fold down for storage. They are better in my opinion. I like them. Some people don't, but I love them. And they're just cooler. The back, there's a little bay at the back that will open up that you can put cargo crates in, which is amazing. Because then you can do actual cargo missions and then you can close it. Don't think those are working in the PT at the moment, but should soon, hopefully. Where in the UK are you from, Bored? Hampshire, Southampton. Not that anyone from Southampton talks like that. They all talk like moderately successful YouTubers. What are they doing for anti-cheat? Don't know. They've talked about anti-cheat briefly before. Don't know how they're going to do it in the persistent universe, though. Because it might be a thing. It might be a thing they genuinely need to really think about. And they'd have to, if anyone was caught cheating, like using hacks or whatever, they have to be entirely banned and everything that they have destroyed and removed. And that could be terrible if they're like in a big org. They might have a load of assets. I think they have to be brutal with it. But we'll have to see. We'll look at what's doable, what their protections are, and that sort of thing in the future. When we know more, I'll talk about it. When they know more, I'll talk about it. You know. Next time I go for an office tour, Murder Doll, and hopefully for CitizenCon if it's in Manchester next year, I might see you if you're around. If you come to these events, I'm not going to be going out and looking for you. That sounds creepy. They gave people the sitcom version of the Mustang to everyone in the PTU. Oh, you're talking about the new skinned one. That's a skin, but the Mustangs are new though still. Can you own properties on planets rather than ships? You will be able to rent habs and hangars. You will be able to build outposts. So yes, you can own properties on planets. Do I know if HCS is going to continue to support Star Citizen as they haven't updated since 3.0? So what's HCS? Judas Lees, feel free to... it's probably an acronym I should know.
I'm dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
Oh, Matinator, thank you so much. That's a lot of bits. I will... Thank you. I don't have the cup like I normally do. Oh, no, actually, don't clip that. Will we ever see weather or terrain radars and ships so we can fly blind? I don't know. I would assume we could fly in storms and clouds, so potentially. And they'll give us more and more MFDs and data on those HUDs and sort of like altitude meters and things like that, and as they become necessary. So, Kraken and Javelin are not good at landing on ground or station pads. So are Starfarer and Vulcan the only way to refuel? No, so you'll be able to dock with stations. So there's literally big docking hatches and things, so you can refuel like that, probably. Yeah, you're not going to be able to land on the ground much unless it's a low gravity moon or planet or whatever, because you might not be able to get back up out of the orbit. Although we've seen the Idris land. But yeah, they can still dock with ships and things, dock to dock, port to port. Will we ever see weather or terrain radars in ships? So we've talked about that. Current idea is 3.3.0 to be live on 31st and 3.3.5 going to P2 then for other days. No. So there's no like strict plan like that. I'm expecting 3.3 to go live end of next week. What I'm thinking. Roughly, and then 3.3.5 probably go to avocados the week after that. HCS voice packs. Boom. Okay. Voice attack. Yeah, it should get some more support. They just need to keep it in mind very lightly, and then HCS want to support Star Citizen. Star Citizen want to support HCS voice packs. I'll cover it a bit more, and I'll probably poke some devs to make sure that's still the case, but I'm pretty sure it is. I think it's Paul that runs HCS voice packs. I will give him a poke. Okay, it's been a while since I looked at getting this game, but went elsewhere for a while. Is the game making progress towards release, or are they just adding new stuff to the list when they finish something? They're actually progressing now. 3.4 by the end of the year should have quite a lot. We actually have frame rates now in game, which is great. 3.3.5, which is coming in the next few weeks. We'll have a whole planet and lots more mission content, and the game is a lot more accessible now. So it's getting a lot better. It's still not a sit down and play game by any means. They're working on these pillars to release, which are org gameplay and like more group gameplay, proper stuff, full persistence, and server meshing, which is all super important. Server meshing allows them to have thousands of people, if not more, if not everyone, on the same server using all these other systems. So, and that could sort of like, that might be towards the end of 2019. We'll get all of that implemented in some sort of early stage. Will we ever have space mines? Will that be a thing? Potentially. They've got to have bombs, and if bombs can be dropped, and there might be proximity bombs and stuff, then mines aren't out of the question at all. I mean, they seem pretty simple to me. Just an explosive item that just hovers and blows up when someone's nearby. Are any planets based on Earth or Mars, or planets in our solar system? Yes, there will be the solar system, Earth, and all of that jazz. All our 20 billion planets in our system, or however many it is, what, 3? What kind of buildings can you have? I had rumours of factories. So factories are simulated in-game at the very least. We're not sure what form of manufacture we will be able to have. There's sort of like potential for sciencey manufacturer in the lab on the Endeavour. We can build outposts, which will be able to exploit resources on planets, or be able to use them as bases and that sort of stuff as well. But I'm not sure if we actually have manufacturing stations. I hope we do. I want at least a light manufacturing game if we can get it. I like the idea of being able to manufacture fuel, weapons, so munitions, missiles, ammunition, that sort of stuff, and armor, and all the basics that you need to survive, food and all that sort of jazz, and potentially even all the way up to ships. I quite like the idea of, or at least items for ships. Thanks for all your content, Board. Thank you very much for watching. Appreciate it. Doesn't the new change mentioned for atmospheric flight to make outposts more potent and crucible a more wanted ship for its abilities? Yeah. I mean, longer time to kill, and but disabling being a genuine thing, being able to blow off individual items and thrusters and stuff on ships. Yeah, I mean, it makes it much more important, and also it makes outposts a lot better, because ships won't be able to just always hover and strafe around them like the Valkyrie. Yeah, it's built to do like that sort of stuff, and that will make the Redeemer, because they want to make the Redeemer into a full gunship, and that'll make it a lot more useful. But the Redeemer's getting a full rework. What do you think will happen with ships such as the Cat that can currently land with no problems but have no VTOL thrusters listed? I think that, do they not have any VTOL thrusters listed? I think when they're burdened, those ships are going to be hard to land. Will we ever, well, hard to take off actually, not hard to land. Will we ever get a UI display to help you make an orbit around moons and planets? Probably. That's the sort of stuff that they are looking to add if it's sensible. Have you warmed up to the survival mechanics? I mean, I'm okay with the occasional need to eat and drink. I'm okay with that, because that actually encourages players not to grind like idiots and not eat and drink. I'm okay. Healthy lifestyle when a gamer, if possible. Eat and drink breaks. However, I was hoping that the eat and drink breaks would be taken when I went offline. I hope that if I log off in my hab, it's assumed that I've eaten and drank. That would be cool. But there's lots of ways they can do it. I'm okay with really light survival mechanics. I just don't want heavy ones. Don't want to have to do like inventory management constantly. I don't want to have to do, oh, I've got to check my water and food because it's going down by a percentage every 30 seconds. Oh my god. When I spoke to a guy at the CitizenCon about HCS voice packs, they stated their support is continuing, but because of continued keybind changes made by COG, it's more difficult and takes time. Yes. Probably was Paul as well, actually. Where can I find a ship release roadmap? Just got the Kraken and really can't wait. So you can go to the ship matrix, and you can go to the general roadmap. Let me link you to both of those. Ship matrix. Ship matrix has the latest data on all the ships, and at the top it will say production state. So it will tell you if they're flyable and where they are in the production pipeline. Jared does a great ship shape show occasionally where he talks about some of the ships. You'll find out probably a lot about them around the holiday live, anniversary live stream at the end of November. I typically talk about a load of them. What else was I going to send you? I was going to send you something else. The general roadmap. And this is all the listed data we have for the next like 9 months of development. Ish. Thoughts on the 3.4 roadmap? I think it's doable. I think because they don't have object container streaming, it's very doable. I'm looking forward to Arc Corp. Hopefully there's going to be a lot more missions as well. Cloud Tech will be cool. Hopefully there'll be areas in space with Cloud Tech. I think we're going to get a lot more gameplay area with 3.4. And female characters, which will be cool. And hopefully the DNA system as well. That'll be a good amount more gameplay. Any reason that on the PTU I can't see any ships in Teacher's ship shop? It's most infuriating. It's a bug. They degrade, disappear, get destroyed, fall out of the world, get sold out over time. So I think they might respawn, but going into another server is how I fixed it previously. Can you tell me more about the Hammerhead? Possible quests, daily usage. Will I be in need of a second one-seater? So you're going to need people, AI, so you're going to need either humans, NPCs, potentially you can get AI modules to control the turrets, maybe. I don't know about the Hammerhead, but I'm assuming it can. at least control some of those turrets via AI, so like the point defense systems, to target certain things a bit derpier than NPCs would. Possible quests, clearing out medium to large like fighter and pirate dens. So lots and lots of combat missions, patrol missions especially. I mean, it's basically a defensive patrol ship. I mean, you'll be able to land it on a planet. I don't know how great they're going to be on high gravity planets, but on reasonable gravity planets, you should be able to land. And it can take a vehicle as well. So you can put like a Tumbril Cyclone or something in there.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
So. Almost 2 years.
Oh, Nooberfire, thank you so much. I love your face. Nooberfire, one of my favourite content creators in the world. My favourite YouTube content creator, in fact, for Star Citizens. Obviously, second to me, obviously. Twerk, my favourite Star Citizen streamer. Sorry if that hurts anyone's feelings, but fuck you. About that. I'm lad favourites. I can say what I want, mate. Boom. Love you, Noob. Love your content. And we need to do, when 3.3 goes live, we need to do some gameplay together and mess around. Because we can now. And there's reasons to. And we have frame rates. Can you tell me? Okay, cool. But yeah, I think Hammerhead was actually going to be relatively multi-role. It's obviously not going to be greatly suited for patrolling maybe around the yellow asteroid belt because it's quite big. I suppose you can float above it, just go along. But you wouldn't want it in small scale areas. Yeah, hopefully Noob will do some more voice attack stuff once voice attack is more supportive of Star Citizen and vice versa. 3.3, Noob, do some more if you can. We love you. How far in the development is the Prowler? I don't actually know, sorry. Puppy dog eyes. Can you roleplay or sign up as part of the military or space police or factions? There's going to be guilds in the game. There are probably going to be UEE and security-based missions, but there will be bounty hunters, guilds and stuff. So you literally will be able to get access to a database of criminals, and if you witness a crime, you will be able to go and enforce lethal justice. Has Jumptown been relocated in 3.3? Is Jumptown where you get Widow, isn't it? I don't know. I haven't actually checked. There's a few things I haven't done in 3.3. I didn't even think to check. But the procedural tech keeps on getting updated, so stuff does move around, especially features like mountains and things. So potentially it has moved. Yeah, the My Fleet stuff is pretty cool. Oh my god, Idris versus Kraken. I mean, the Idris will win if it gets close enough. Simple. It's the Kraken is going to be pretty. It's a Drake ship. It's not going to be able to take a beating. So if something gets close to it, it's going to be able to wreck it, unless the ship's on it. And the ships on it, you need to then consider what they are, and then you also need to consider what the ships on the Idris are. But if the Idris gets close enough to the Kraken, it should win. I mean, it's a frigate versus a light carrier. The frigate wants to get close and kill the Kraken. If they're long range and the Kraken's got loads of great ships, then the Idris needs to find and then try and take down the Kraken while being attacked by larger ships. But I would deploy an Idris against a Kraken to try and take an Idris to try and take a Kraken out. But obviously, if it had really high tier military ships with it, that's going to be a problem. It'd be a good idea to include an option to display more than one chat at the same time. Yes, I like that idea. I think you should be able to. Yeah, that's probably a feature they want. When do you think they'll start putting more meaningful gameplay loops like salvage, medical repair, and refuel in? That's super important, and they're going to start to be putting that in from 3.5, probably. I'm hoping we see something, a proper gameplay loop in 3.4. Maybe something from 3.5, like the law system, salvage, some more of like the escort beacony stuff or whatever, makes its way into 3.4. But at the moment, those larger gameplay loops are scheduled for 3.5. Coleman, thank you, BoredGamer. You're a good guy and take things in stride while answering to the best of your ability. Thank you. I appreciate that. Send me some money. No. Don't the Idris have a big railgun? The Idris M has a big railgun. I think the Idris P can probably mount something if he gets a kit or whatever. But it's got big guns anyway. What can we expect from the 325A rework? A better, cooler looking 325 series. They'll give it a rework, and they'll position it more correctly in its pantheon of ships, which I'm assuming is a luxury, more chilled out version of fighter. So probably gonna compete with the Gladius at that level. Thank you very much, Bob Mitch. Bob Mitch is another great creator, Star Stars and stuff. Check his channel out. Feel free to link it. Bob Mitch, love your face. Any other questions? What do I think of the current Alpha UEC price of ships in game? Good question. I think that they would be reasonable if the game wasn't reset every 3 months. Yeah, I think if it wasn't reset so often, they'd be reasonable. So I think what they need to do is either... Realistically, I'd like to see like an Avenger Titan in between, and some cheaper ships there, and rentals for ships. And that would solve most of my problems with any of the prices. Will there be a return to player function for ships like Elite Dangerous? I don't know what that means. Return to player function? F4 takes you back to camera. Don't know what that is. What would win in combat, the Buccaneer or the Saber? The Saber. Well, Saber is a... Saber has big... I mean, it's... Basically, the Buccaneer is paper, and the Saber is got better components. And Saber is one of my favourite ships in the game, so I'm going to say Saber. Do you think they will hold 3.3 in PTU until 3.5 is implemented and roll out together? No, I think they will just put 3.3 to live probably by the end of next week, and then a week afterwards we'll see the Evocardi 3.3.5. But I don't think they're holding anything. Talking about the 300 series, I've heard the 350R has a bed. Yeah, I think it's got a bed still. Oh no, maybe it doesn't with the racing one. I think it probably still does though. The issue with the 300 series is it's not focused on anything. So it's not dedicated racer. However, the 350R is pretty close. Yeah, I'd prefer to be able to strip that bed out. It's a good point, because the ship would then be lighter and faster. You are right. So you'd like to see higher ship prices in the actual persistent universe? Yeah, they'll be balanced. So the problem is we need the dynamic economy. So, and we need full persistence for that. In the short term, I just want obtainable ships in some way. So rentals would help. Do you think the Kraken will be capable of carrying a single large ship instead of 2 mediums on the upper landing pads? Yes. You're about to park like a Caterpillar or something on it. Will there be any rework on the Constellation line in the near future? We'll get materials updates. There'll be general updates to the ships. There's not going to be huge reworks, though. Do you agree we shouldn't have vertical landing lights when the landing gear is out? I don't know. I don't know. Sabeticus? Maybe, yes, no? I don't know what the right answer for that is. I don't know. Expanding on my last question, basically I'm travelling away from your ship without storing it. Will you be able to call your ship to autopilot back to where you ever were? They probably won't have autopilot. They've talked about it sort of like auto landing, but they want the game to be as tactile as possible, and they don't like the idea of AI running your ship. They want you to do it. When do I think 3.3 is going live? End of next week. The ETA 3.3 release, the same. Right. Any other questions? Because I'm going to go and eat some din-dins. If not, why do we have so many variants instead of just making ships more modular? So, there are variants for hulls, and there are modular stuff. It makes sense to have both. Genuinely does. But I don't really have an answer for you, other than I'm hoping we have more actual implementation of modular stuff next year. I would prefer stuff to be more modular than hull variant. Definitely. But can you sell ship components yet? You can melt any ship components that you bought with UEC from the Voyager Direct store. But you can't sell components. You can't sell ships yet. No. Will the Cutlass Black get a toilet? It has a bed after all. It has a toilet, doesn't it? Just shit in your sheets. I thought I had a toilet. I thought I had a little tiny covered toilet. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I was taking a poo in the turret. Do you think the Orion will increase in price during the anniversary sale? Yes, it's doubled in size. It's fucking huge. What's for dinner? Don't know yet. Probably like a chicken. I'll cook some chicken, fry in a pan with a tiny bit of olive oil, and then sort of like toast some nuts with it, like almonds and some walnuts maybe. I'm on a diet. How do we get hold of the Javelin? You're about to buy it in game eventually. It's not flyable yet, not until Squadron 42 goes live, which is probably at the end of next year. And you can get it from getting like 2,000 referrals or something. Do you think 3.4 will be live before the end of 2019? That is the before 2019. Yes, that's the plan. Who gets access to 3.3 PTU? Everyone with a game package. You just need to go into the RSA website. Let me show you actually. So you go into your account, settings, public test universe, copy your account, then you'll receive an email. And then you need to download the PTU launcher, which I will actually link you. So let's go to Spectrum. Don't ignore that. And then I can ignore that. Don't ignore all of these. You didn't need to see those. 3.3 testing. PTU issues. Is this where the frequently asked PTU questions? Here you go. All the details you need are in that. There you go, buddy. Boom. When the ship sale is actually how long does it start and how long will it be on for? So if you're talking about, let's fucking bring this up again. Boom. Desktop. Bear with me. So last year, it was from the middle of November to the 1st of... Oh no, that's actually... When was it? The sale started on the 24th of November, end of November, and then ended on sort of like around the 1st of December. It went on for longer, actually. There were ships available for at least a couple of weeks. There's like a big long thing. They tell us about it. I'll put a video up on it. I don't know. That's last year's one. When do you think CIG will release the Hull C? So they need to get the multi-grid physics tech done so they can have compressing physics grids and the animations like working. So they ran into some problems. They also need to get more cargo metrics, more cargo boxes all worked out, and like the second stage of cargo. It's on the backlog at the moment. I don't know when it's going to be. Mid next year, at best guess. Can you link the Citizen Spotlight before you go offline? Yeah, of course. No worries. So I did a Norg Spotlight covering covering Black Star Initiative. And I'll start to do these regularly. You do not need to give me ships to appear on Org Spotlight. You need to go into my Discord, and there is an actual place to post about your org there, and literally explain it to me like I'm 5, like I'm a new recruit, you're trying to recruit me, and give me all appropriate links so I can then research your org. And at some point, I may contact you and say, I want your org. You are more than welcome at that stage to say, I will give you a ship for a giveaway for the Org Spotlight. You're more than welcome to. However, that is not necessary or essential, and you do not need to tell me that at any stage until you're like, and I've got this, bam, if you want to. I do not need orgs to do that. I feel like it will price out other orgs, and that people will feel like they need to give me things, and they do not. I do not want people to spend money when they don't have the money to spend. I have no idea about what people's financial situations are, and I do not want to fuck around with that. Can you link that? Yeah, I've linked that. I love your face. Oh, can you link the Citizen Spotlight page? Oh, what am I linking? Oh, Aspire. You're asking about something else. Yes. Boom. What are we looking at here? Oh, okay. So if you check that out, and if you agree with it, feel free to upvote it. I'm not going to brigade people to vote this unless they agree with it. But it is some bits and bobs about Aspire's My Fleet app, which I do love. And I've already upvoted it. But if the mood so takes you and you believe it's worth an upvote, then do that. Yes. Could you lend or rent me one of your ships to a guildmate? I believe that is going to be a feature, yes. Walnut or olive oil? It's going to be walnut. It's going to be olive oil, a little tiny bit of olive oil. What are your favourite ships? Like top 5? Carrack, Banning Merchantman, Orion, Hammerhead, Reclaimer. I mean, there's loads. I fucking love them all. Not Reliant. Fuck the Reliant. How do you ask a question? I hate you. How about that for an answer? When will you fly to Canada so I can kick you a steak and we get drunk together? Oh my god, noob. I promise you I will come and visit you one day. I promise you. As soon as it's financially viable, I don't feel like I'm going to have a panic attack on the flight, whatever. It's actually relatively easy for me to come to Canada because it is a Commonwealth country. Yes, I at some point, definitely, mate. Have you ever had cauliflower pizza crust? Like, I had cauliflower rice and I like cauliflower. Thanks for hanging out with me, rather than the other way around. Appreciated. Oh, Spy, thank you for the money. I mean, it's appreciated. Thank you. Does the org spotlight have to be a big org? Or can it be a startup? It can be any size, anything, any org. Lawful, unlawful, big, small, and I will try and cover a good range of orgs over the next few months. What is that Evacardi NDA org? I don't know. I didn't see anything there. I do not know what you're talking about. You're such a good guy, Bored. Thank you so much. If peeps upvote meter to 500, then it's a stretch goal, and I'll add more features. I see. And you're on 370 at the moment. Cool. No worries. I hope you get more support for that in the future. I'll cover it when 3.3 comes out, probably. Aspire, maybe 4. I'll definitely give it some coverage properly at some point. Will Hurston have more cities to visit other than Norville in 3.3.5 or later? It'll have more areas to visit. I'm not sure if it will have more cities or not. I don't know. And yeah, if it had more cities, you might have to ride the train or tram there. Yeah. I think we'll see that on like ArcCorp, for example. We'll see tram across to stations across the planet, potentially. Say my name, Senpai. Is your name Senpai? Roland Igris. Ergus. There you are. You happy? Is that how I say it? Any other questions before I go nom-noms? Thank you so much for the donations, for the subs, for the general feedback. Give me lots of ideas for videos, and this is one of the reasons I do this. I am planning to stream twice a week, some Star Citizen, and I'll be streaming, at some point I'll start streaming lots more in the evening. I'm planning to hire my mate Zin full-time, which is going to be expensive, but I think it'll be great for the channel. I think I'll be able to get more videos done, which will make more than her money back. I'll also be able to stream regularly, and be able to get better footage and better quality stuff. And she'll probably become more liked and a better editor than me very quickly. So. I'm concerned about funding for 10 years of development. 200 million isn't really that much when you're employing 500 people. What? I mean, they're making 36 million a year. They're probably only burning 28 to 30 million a year. So as Squadron 42 comes out, they'll make a few hundred million maybe in the first 2 years of that. plus whatever Star Citizen's also making. I mean, I think they're pretty secure financially. It's one of the odd things that I don't understand why people attack Star Citizen on. It's like, they're probably pretty financially secure. I mean, they could streamline if they need to. Seeing the Hammerhead came through the pipe so quick, do you think the Polaris and other small caps will speed up? If they are using reusable parts for them, yeah. They refine their process constantly, so stuff gets faster and faster, and the more assets and the more parts they build out of ships, and especially large ships, the more they can reuse. So, are there other jobs we know about that aren't currently ships for example, farming? Well, there's the Endeavour for farming. That aren't currently ships for. Brian, are you also talking about ships they haven't even talked about in concept? You're saying they've talked about a job, but they haven't given us a concept ship for it even. Is that what you're saying? Is 3.3 not live? 3.3 is in PTU, but it's PTU for everyone that has a game account, a game package. Do the amount of pit stops needed to refuel is a bit much, especially for explorer ships or large cargo ships? We don't know how they're going to balance that after the new flight model. They should start selling Star Engines to this. Oh my god. That would get them in trouble. Directly competing with CryEngine. They were like, we told you! Like, that's 2 years after the contract ended. That's how they say it. Like David Bowie. I've got BoredGamer streamers. It will be BoredGamers with sunglasses faces. Yes. I don't think there is any gameplay mechanic they have talked about, but there is not currently a ship in concept, at the very least, covering it. Or vehicle, or whatever. I think everything's pretty covered. I don't really want to see any more feature creep, as it was. I can see that they might have supporting modules, or expand out some gameplay. That's not feature creep, that's just like, you know, a natural evolution. You can see that. But I don't want to get any crazy new features. Oh, actually, I suppose... exploration underwater. Water gameplay. Things like that. I haven't got anything for that yet. I'm probably going to do that. I want an Orion too. Oh, I have two. Bam! Yeah. I know. The game is pretty hype, but it's going to be a while before it's ready. If you enjoy the project and you enjoy, like, following it, and giving feedback on it and helping shape it, then it's great. But if you don't enjoy that and you're like, I need to sit down and play the game, and this is buggy, then you're not going to enjoy Star Citizen at this stage. Yeah, org bases, you probably do that with outposts and other stuff, but yeah, maybe some manufactory type stuff. Oh yeah. Anyway, love your faces, guys. And let's go host someone. Who is around to host? Bam. He's not streaming or anything, is he? No, he's not. Bam. She's not streaming or anything. Hey, look. Got 17 members, mate. These are all board game. They've got BoredGamer faces, mate. Bam. Oh, no, that's the wrong thing. So, Zin DC. So, Zinnia is probably who I'm going to employ to work with me. And she'll do lots of Star Citizen content with me and edit and everything, and stream a lot. Probably on the main channel mostly. DC is her partner, Deathcore. He'll be streaming with us a reasonable amount. He doesn't really talk much, but he's very good at games. He's very fun to play with. You see him play like VR games with me. Zen, I'll be playing loads of Star Citizen with, and then maybe Kit if she can get into it. Bug's played with me before, but he's more of a strategy gamer now. And G streaming regularly. G actually streams very regularly, and he streams like games like Foxhole and some clever games like Poly Bridge and stuff. So give them all love. Give them all a follow.
So I decided to use this.
Oh, lesh was sweesh. I'm just about to go and host someone else. I was just, you know, shilling for myself, as you do. Shadow works really well for 3.3 PTU at the moment. However, I'll talk more about it. Shadow, that cloud gaming service that allows you to turn any device or your crappy computer into a good computer, leveraging the internet. I will talk more about it once 3.3 goes live and once I know it works properly and it's sort of like stable. Because potentially Shadow might not work with 3.3 live because I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, but it should do. It should work well. I want to be able to do a guide on it and be able to get my camera and my microphone working with VoIP and VoIP in it and that sort of stuff. And it has, but it's been intermittent. So. You're going to go give Saurus some love. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching, guys. Appreciate it. You take care. I'll see you soon. I might get another video out later today. And take care of yourselves. Kisses. Mwah.
Fascists can be beaten. It's in our
Bam.
hands.
Bam.